Embark on your journey, the path you must take. Though hate may surround you, it's not your fate to forsake. Co-creating your destiny in the dance of time. The guiding light within you ignites the sublime. It is the light, the guiding light from the heart and soul. Don't lose control. Let it be the light shining bright, unlocking potential beyond belief, taking flight. In the depths of your being, the truth resides. Embrace your power, let your spirit rise. With every step forward, you transcend the expanded conscious community we commend. Through trials and triumphs, your soul evolves in the symphony of life, where every note resolves. Listen to the whispers of your inner voice. In unity and love, let your heart rejoice. It is the light, the guiding light from the heart and soul. Don't lose control. Let it be the light shining bright, unlocking potential beyond belief, taking flight. It is the light, the guiding light from the heart and soul. Don't lose control. Let it be the light shining bright, unlocking potential beyond belief, taking flight. As we gather together in this sacred space, embracing transformation with grace. Life coach Malachi leads the way in unlocking potential day by day. Embracing transformation with grace. Life coach Malachi leads the way, unlocking potential day.
What's up? All right, make sure you guys like and share. I'm here. Of course, this is sort of pre-recorded. I'm still watching the background, things I'm doing with the family. But we're going to be here for about 20 minutes or so, and you don't want to miss this. It's going to be good. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Christmas and consciousness. Christmas and consciousness. It's a kind of a real interesting combination, isn't it? I think so. Well, sometimes we ponder things, and I'm a ponderer. We wonder things, and sometimes we don't think at all. Sometimes we just are just here. I appreciate you. If you're here, you've been here. I love you guys. You guys are amazing. I'm working through just some shifts. They're not crazy shifts, but like, where do I go from here? Where do we go from here? Where do I take the show from here? So if you hear, make sure you shout out. I'm gonna just let you know that yes, this is recorded. I'm probably at my family's house, so I'm watching it on the phone. So I'll still maybe comment or anything like that, but I just still have to deliver. I'll be here next week. Tomorrow morning, I'll be on Insight Timer at 10:30. So make sure you tap in and tune in. All right, like we're gonna get to this real quick so that I can shoot up out of here. Make sure you like and make sure you follow. And if you're on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe. I appreciate it. There's probably 50% or a little less of the people that are on here are subscribed, right? Love you guys. Okay, no, also want to remember, you know what? Merry Christmas. You know, if you're out there, you could be alone, you could be by yourself, whatever the case may be, but I'm here to just want to wish you a Merry Christmas. That's what we do. I don't believe that there's no fight of anyone trying to take Christ out of Christmas. I don't think there's a fight. That's all in your head. If anything, I think people would want to not be forced or pushed to believe that they are fighting against someone else's belief systems by saying don't push so much on individual people to be like you. There's people that are in other faiths, religions, and you can still do your thing. It's not saying that you don't speak what you speak about and talk what you talk about. Just don't get mad when someone else doesn't want to hear what you got to say. A little bit of ego. We're going to get into some of that this evening. Y'all ready? I hope so. And I appreciate you for all those who's stopping by. I know some people going to be creeping in a little late. Hopefully they'll watch it in the replay. But I'm only going to just be here for a moment, right? And of course, I've been going through a lot of things with helping people with getting adjusted or getting connected more to their higher self meaning more connected to the when I say higher self, I don't want you to think up above. I want you to think that you exist in the physical, but there is a spiritual connection, there is a divine connection, there's something beyond belief, beyond us, beyond just our essence of the physical matter, right? There's dogma even in science, as there is dogma, lots of dogma in spirituality, and definitely religion is laced with dogma. Dogma meaning my way or the highway, and this is the only way. A lot of us are dealing with ego. And my thing is, I might have my ways of doing something. I may have my ways of feeling some kind of way about life, about what I do, about what I speak about. And we will have that amongst people. People will do what they do. People will enjoy their lives. People will maybe not enjoy their lives. People will fight against you. People will think that you're fighting against them. Right now, we've been dealing with equity and inclusion and not just necessarily, we're not trying to think about equality where we want everyone to be exactly the same, but equity as in you have realizing and understanding where we are, where we've been, and how do we continue to move forward. Now there's a lot of, when it comes to just looking at Christmas and consciousness. So if you're with me tonight, first I would like for you to just take a breath. You ever take a breath intentional? And just breathe and exhale. There's a whole art, there's a whole skill, there's a whole connection that we can do, which I will talk about 10 o'clock, I think, 10 or 10:30 on Insight Timer tomorrow. Make sure you're there. Just breathing on this Christmas day. It could be for thankfulness. It can be for awakeness. It can be for just being, to take that breath. Just that one slow inhale and exhale. Tonight, I don't want it to be about hype. I don't want to be about performing joy. I just want it to be about presence. Presence. What's about meaning? What's about consciousness? Christmas is one of those days that almost forces us and can force us to reflect, especially as you age and you experience and you remember. One big thing as we do this is we're developing and creating what we call our memories. And we have had memories. This is part of life and part of living. And even if you don't truly celebrate it, even if you just grew up celebrating it and now you're not sure what you believe, even if you love it, even if you grieve it, if you live here in America, for the most part, you've been trained for this season. You've been trained by this season. Y'all feel me? We've been trained. We've been trained by the music, which I think can be a time that we can bring back memories. Let It Snow. I got married in December 9th of 2000, and it wasn't too long that Boyz II Men came out with that song. Let it snow. It's another Christmas holiday. Oh, man. Or Donny Hathaway's and all the renditions. I like them all, to be honest. We can, this Christmas, fireshine blazing bright. With caroling through the night this Christmas. Oh, man, isn't that beautiful? Fred Hammond came out with a Christmas album that brings back memories, too. Might have to listen to that because I think there's something to do with reflecting and being able to reflect back over the years and time of our existence and of our experience. So yes, we've been trained by the music. We've been trained by the lights. We've been trained by this calendar. We've been also trained by the TV commercials. We've been trained by the expectations. And every time that you feel something that is leaning in, and I repeat it, it's okay to type it in the chat. But what does that mean? And I think that's what makes this day so powerful, to talk about through the lens called consciousness. Every once in a while, I got to check and make sure my settings are good. Consciousness isn't just about being spiritual. I need you to be able to understand that we talk about consciousness, but don't try to box consciousness into a subject in terms of like when I speak on it, I'm speaking on it in a way that we're talking about it, but is very elusive, right? We don't compare consciousness in the say, compared to religion or consciousness or consciousness groups. Because there's been all kinds of that within communities. When you think consciousness, you got to think beyond belief. You got to think beyond understanding. As we just dance and play around it, for the most part, I'm talking about the consciousness when it comes to awareness. When it comes to being aware, so That's why we do meditation. That's why we do mindfulness. I'm aware of this, I'm aware of that. I'm aware of these physical things. I'm aware of this. I'm aware of the ceiling here. I'm aware of my house. That's a level of being mindful and coming in. But then I can go even deeper into the levels of consciousness and become aware of my breath. Now being more connected to just this physical life. Now I'm connected to my physical life. And now I can go beyond that, and I can begin to connect to the physical life around the world, and I can connect to the physical space and the spaces outside of space. And I'm going to come deeper in, and I'm going to connect to my thoughts. Now we're going deeper. What am I thinking, and why are my thoughts leaning into a direction? Now I can go and I can think about, what do I want to think about? I don't want to think about nothing, so I'm going to go into thinking about love. Now I'm going to thinking about healing. See, boom, now you're switching something on. That's the whole point of whenever I'm talking about consciousness and meditation. We're talking about some of the science, some of the spirituality, some of the metaphysical, and we're talking about shifting who we are. Even as we go through moments and I bring things up, I'm talking about being aware of what's shaping you, being aware of what's programming you, being aware of what's keeping repeating, being aware of what you've inherited, being aware of what you never questioned, but yet though now you are beginning to question. So tonight I want to offer you something simple. Christmas is not just a holiday that we have come up with now. Christmas now has become its own atmosphere, an atmosphere that kind of shapes the human being inside of it. And I don't think it's going anywhere. I think the relevance that you can have when it comes to not necessarily the birth, the physical birth of Christ, but how about the connection to what Christ would be speaking about, the awareness of who you are and being able to be connected to the divine self as God within. I know some people won't agree. I know some people won't like it. I know some people will call blasphemy, but my thing is here. How about you go and you go find another silo? You go find another ecosystem. How about you go and you go find somewhere where you feel like you belong, if you don't necessarily want to hear it, or if you don't want to, what I consider growing. Growth and growing in consciousness can have some levels of feelings of pain. The mental anguish or mental pain can cause you to have what we call as a cognitive dissonance. It's a psychological effect, right? And there's different functions of the body, from the amygdala to the hippocampus to the prefrontal cortex to that's a lot of neuroscience, right? There's body chemistry and body chemicals. These things are happening to us. And as you become more aware of your life, then you become aware of the life outside of your life. All of a sudden, you're becoming godlike, and hopefully it keeps you and humbles you down. So now you can begin to say, how do I want to help shape the world around me and those who are connected to me? I welcome you for whoever is tapped in and tuned in and listening to this message that is coming through me as me, but also a part of who you are. So tonight I want to offer you something simple. As in Christmas not being a holiday, but understanding its atmosphere. And to ask the question, what are we really celebrating? We all know that saying, keep Christ and keep Christmas. And I get it. For a lot of people, that's an anchor. I understand it, and I'm not against it. I think it's actually beautiful that a person can feel that way if they have in love that they want to keep it versus just pushing everybody else and just making sure it's like, and what does that mean? Does that mean that does that really mean that I just want to make sure that I put my Christianity into it? Or do I want to actually make sure I put the consciousness of that Christ figure within it? Remember Arsenio Hall, some things that make you go, And if we're being honest, Christmas was practice as we know it today. It's a fusion. There's religion involved. There's traditions involved. There's mythology involved. There's culture involved. There's marketing involved. There's memory involved. There's family systems involved. There's grief. There's even nostalgia. Ultimately, a lot of it comes down to economics, especially here in our country. And a lot of people don't realize this. You can love tradition and still ask questions. Some of the most conscious people I know aren't the ones that throw everything away. They're the ones that hold two truths at the same time. I can cherish the moment and I still be aware inside the moment. Be aware. Type that in the chat. Be aware. Be aware. I am aware. I am aware. I'm becoming aware, more aware. Because here's the thing, when we awake or awaken, it doesn't mean being negative. It means negative and positive. It just means we're just trying to be real. Excuse me. We're just trying to be real. That is the question of why are we celebrating this? The invisible force of the season. So let me put language to something you already feel. This season has a psychological gravity to it. And that's why some people can feel comfort and some people feel pressure and some people feel lonely and some people feel angry and some people feel like they're failing. Even if nothing bad happened, because the season doesn't just bring celebration, it can also bring compassion. Ever thought about that? It brings the highlight reel. It can bring the highlight reel of everybody else's life. And you see the pictures, you see something going on, and you're like, oh man, look at that. Oh man, look at that. What are they doing? It can bring the stories you even tell yourself. I'm a coach, and I'm going to get into your psyche, because this is when it says, I should be so much further. I should be happier right now. I should have more. I should have fixed this relationship by now. I should be over this grief. This season is so tough for me right now. Mama died or this happened, and I understand these things. And consciousness is the moment you catch yourself mid-story and you say, wait, is this me talking or is that some condition talking? Because a lot of what we call holiday spirit is just social pressure. And trying to dress it up. So let's just get a little conscious about this. If this day is joyful for you, receive it fully. Don't let nothing block it. If this day is hard for you, Try to honor that, but don't try to shame it. Okay? If this day is complicated for you, understand that it's not that you're broken. Understand that you're human and you're going through experiences. And if you want growth, and true growth is when you begin to reflect, but you begin to say, I know I am not just the body. I know I am not just this moment. And I know that the divine is with me. So if you can, in the chat right now, say, I am here. I am here. I am here. You know, that's my word. I am here. That's it. You may not be perfect. Who's perfect? I'm okay. I'm not okay all the time. Not I have it all figured out. I'm just here. Presence, just to be here, because presence is power. Number 3, Christ consciousness and what people miss. Now, let me say this carefully, y'all. When people say Christ, a lot of people are thinking about the religious brand. But when mystics say Christ, we often mean that it's a state of being, it's a state of knowing, it's a state of consciousness, as a quality. What we call is the qualia, the physical meaning behind, not just religion. It's a way we can consider of loving. It's a way we can see. It's a way of forgiving. It's a way of holding our power without trying to dominate, as I was speaking earlier about. I haven't probably mentioned it about the president and how he's came with a message that is really convoluted and really odd. But it's a way of being human without losing your soul and without losing yourself. So even if you question the history of Christmas, even if you question the institution, even if you question literally the story or the stories, you could still ask the deeper question and say, what does this season call out for me? Does it call out generosity, or does it just call out performance? Does this call out a connection, or is it just some control? Does it call out guilt or gratitude? How about, does it call out love or just obligation? Do you feel obligation? Because consciousness doesn't just ask, what do you believe? Consciousness asks, who are you becoming? Who do you want to become? See, this is where we're going in 2026, and we're going to have some big things happening, and you guys can jump in and do some of the schooling and some of the teachings and be able to get into a whole nother realm as I bring Beyond Belief consciousness series and actually being able to work in a way where we're going to shift who we are. So conscious shifting, right? And having results quickly. We don't want to wait forever. What's the point? We want to have results and then continue to get results. That is, who are you becoming? See, as consciousness doesn't ask what you believe. It just goes from what is in the subconscious and what you're becoming. So the economy has a lot to do with our emotions. So let's be honest about the other layer, right? This is also one of the biggest spending seasons of the year. And it's not just because people love giving gifts. It's because emotion moves money. Nostalgia moves money. Guilt moves money. Fear and disappointment and disappointing people moves money. The need to prove love moves money. The need to be seen moves money. And some of you feel that. You're not just buying gifts. You're trying to buy a little bit of offering, peace, and connection. You're trying to sometimes buy approval. You're trying to buy your way into and out of tension. And again, this is no shame. This is no shame. We've all been there. This is where we grow up. But here's what consciousness asks of that. Am I giving from love or from fear? Am I spending from joy or from pressure? Am I showing up because I want to or because I'm afraid of the story people will tell about me if I don't? See, this is not judgment. This is moving towards awakening. Why the new year feels like a portal is what we're going to begin to talk about. It's talking about shifting, because where we're standing right on the edge of a new year, something happens in the human mind, the landmarks and the birthdays, the new months and the New Year's Day. It kind of feels like a clean page and people are ready to restart their lives. The new me is coming up. Transformation happens. So we'll ask the questions. What are you feeding your mind? What are you feeding your body? What are you allowing around you? What are you rehearsing daily? What are you tolerating? What are you avoiding? So if you want to shift, don't wait for January 1 and New Year's like it's magic. We're going to start now. We're going to look and reflect, and we're going to begin to take a conscious inventory about your nervous system, we're going to begin to really question and use meditation as a science and as a practice. And then how do we use that to make sure that we're shifting and holding each other accountable? See, shifting is not wishing. Shifting is practice. This is something that we don't just build it. It becomes a mood. Ready to shift? Y'all know what to do. Type in the chat. I'm ready to shift. I'm ready to shift. I'm ready to shift. In closing, I'm not asking you to worship Christmas. I'm not asking you not to worship Christmas. I'm just asking you to wake up inside of who you are. I want you to see the layers, see the conditioning. I want you to see the beauty, see the pressure, see the memory, see the love, and then choose how you want to move forward. Because the real gift isn't under the tree. The real gift is the chance to shift. From expanded consciousness, beyond belief, Merry Christmas. I look forward to speaking to you next year. Remember to take a breath. Inhale, exhale. Not a performance, presence, not a belief even, but awakening. Merry Christmas. I love you guys. And we'll talk to you back next week, tomorrow, Insight Timer, 10 o'clock. Go download the app. There's the Expanded Consciousness community, Patreon. Go to it. Sign up. There's a Cash App. I appreciate you. I can keep this moving. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And of course, seeing you next week. Love y'all.
was raised in the echoes of sermons and signs. Told who I was, what to believe, how to walk the line. Kneeled at the altar, searching for grace, but all I found was fear wrapped